Just give everything time to set itself up. I can't tell direction with the reversed camera, but it's okay. I guess it's not reversed because you can see me out. Shut up. All of you, shut up. None of you know anything about anything or anyone. Or anyone. Bottom. Finally got the notebook. I mean, good now, chat. Good now. And I know I said some fuck shit on Twitter before, so don't come into my live stream with any of that bullshit. Don't come into my live stream with any of that bullshit, because I will not talk about it. I won't. I simply will not. Lick on my balls, sugar my dick. Make sure the audio is good. Hello. I know I said some fuck shit on Twitter before, so yeah. Don't come into my live stream with any of that bullshit. Actually. Beep bop, beep bop, 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 beep bop, bop. And I can just set this here because it doesn't matter. Because all my shit is right here. Beautiful notebook full of bibbity bobbity squibbity stoppity. It's interesting doing this way. Because I like to usually go in with a plan. But this, there is no plan. This is just me going off of vibes and where I'm feeling now. It's, you get my heart, my soul, right here. Right at this moment. And I don't think twice. I am not thinking twice. I guess I'm thinking twice. I don't know why I said I don't. I definitely do. Because it's always a gamble. You never know for certain. You just don't. So it's heart and soul gut. I think the interesting thing is going to be how I'm going to keep track of my overall progress throughout the time. Because, as you can see with this, I guess I just read it, because that's what I have planned right now, but when next week comes, I have to do a last week and a total thing. So it'll be interesting to see how that looks as I come down the season. I guess if I really want to, I can just tell myself to write smaller. Honestly, my handwriting is not that big when it comes to writing down game by game. I guess it all just comes down to how it will look come the season, especially when I do all my writing, because like that is the goal. I try to do I write first chance I get, usually after the games, or in this instance 4 a.m. Other times it's just whenever. I'm gonna fucking cross this off because I have shitty handwriting. And you can't really correct much with a pen as opposed to a pencil. So, again, we'll see how this looks going forward. But I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling pretty good. Drink my nondescript drink on stream because fuck you, I don't get paid enough for this. This was 4 of these for $3, by the way, today. And you wonder why our country has a health issue or a weight issue. 4 of these for $3. An insane deal. It's not that we're unhealthy, it's that we're poor. And unhealthy food is cheaper than healthy food. That is my political, financial comment of the day. But I am no genius, I'm no politician, I don't know shit about dick. All I know is choose peace and accept love. And if you can't do that, then you are no friend of mine. And like I said, I'm not commenting on that thing today. I'm just not. And so with that, I see 7 o'clock on the computer. I see 7 o'clock on the phone. We're going to give this bad boy a start. Count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 2 of my 2025 NFL season and prediction picks live stream edition this year because time is money and I have neither. I'm your host, The Cat, the one and only, and you are on the Blind Canadian Cat YouTube channel. I say meow, and I roll intros. Except I can't really roll intros on a live stream, so this is the best you're gonna get. And we love it, and it's okay. And if you're wondering by the title, you're also probably thinking the same thing I am. This can't be the first time, right, that he's back? This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time since he left in the 2018 offseason into the 2019 season that Flacco is now starting a game in Baltimore as the opposing team. He never got a chance to play when he was with Denver. He didn't really start a lot of games for the Jets. He did play the Ravens at New York when he was with the Jets in 21 or 22, I believe. I don't remember which one. And then the 2023 playoffs, had he beaten Houston, had the Browns beat Houston, they would have gone to Baltimore for the second round. So we were close there. But alas, it just didn't happen. But here we are now. Joe Flacco with Cleveland will be starting a game in Baltimore. This is Flacco's first time back to Baltimore since he was no longer a part of the team. Crazy to think it took him this long. But hey, credit to him for being a relative voice in the league, or being a quarterback that, granted, we thought was left for dead at the early starts of 2023, but came back and found himself on more roster spots. He kept going. He kept doing his thing. So, props to him. Now he gets to go back to Baltimore, which I saw a Twitter clip earlier today. All love, all fun. He's not going to have any gripes or any beef with anyone. He's happy. He's happy. That said, for Ravens fans, if this game is not a slaughterfest, Ravens fans might not be happy. But that's a different subject for another day. Excuse me. And with that, let's break down everything that's happened. So last week, going over the numbers of my silly little paper here, all full of joy and full of whimsy. Siri on my phone wants my attention. Fuck off. But yes, we went 11-5 straight up, 10-6 against the spread, and only 7-9 on the totals, which is funny because I was looking at it. I did not review my stream, so I don't know if I missaid anything, misinterpreted anything, or what. I'm going off of my papers, and now the new notebook I have. I'm going off of that. And I said Miami Indy on the over, which is funny because I put a parlay for the week that it would go under. So maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about, but my records are going to go off of what I wrote in my books. So even if I said under in the book, I wrote over on the paper, I'm taking the over and I'm taking the L. That's how we're doing things. And if I announce otherwise, you will be updated, probably on Twitter. Please follow my Twitter, Canadian Cat CP. But yes, so 11-5 straight up, 10-6 against the spread, 7-9 on the totals. Those straight ups, I could have had a lot more if, things bounced my way. Cleveland kickers know how to make a kick. Baltimore's defense knows how to play defense. Yeah. But shout out to Isaac, also known as the Nautical Clay Doll, in the Cat Quag Clay and Dog picks. I forgot to post the thing on Twitter. I probably aren't. I am not gonna. I have no idea. Anything's possible. But Isaac won the week in our group of 4. He went 13-3, which is funny because he also took the Bears on the Monday night game. So imagine what his record would look like. The Bears probably should have won that game. Who knows? But I'll take the win when I can. He went 13-3. Amanda goes 12-4. I go 11-5. Subleaf went 8-8. And so with that, you do what you can. And thank you, Miami, for blowing loads. I took you for the Week 1 survival pick because Chris decided to do a survival pool, one life, and it was a $5 buy-in. I didn't even get to go 1 week. I couldn't even last the first week because Miami decided that, you know what, Daniel Jones, you are a good quarterback. We're gonna not know how to do shit. Because there was a statistic somewhere they were saying, like, granted, not a lot of drives for Daniel Jones, but every drive that he started, they scored. Every drive. I think he, like I said, he probably only played 7 drives legitimately, but he didn't do any kneel downs, he didn't do any punts, he didn't do anything like that. Every drive Daniel Jones played, they scored. Miami. I had questions about your offensive line, sure. Defense, I figured would have done something. You're telling me you couldn't stop Daniel Jones? Yeah, Miami, I see you as nothing but a bottom 5 team the rest of the year. So, be warned. Be warned. But with that, all my ranting aside, let's get into the picks. And like I said, I write them down, I go throughout them, and I make my pick live in front of y'all to see, so you can see my thought process, my belief. If there's any injury updates, I only know of like 3 off the top of my head that are significant. But the rest of them, it's just all, we'll find out. But you're getting my live, genuine reaction to everything. Starting off with the Thursday night game, which I do look forward to. Washington Commanders are in Green Bay to take on the Packers. Packers are currently 3.5-point favorites, and the total is a very high 48.5. Now, Green Bay had a very impressive win. Very true. And it's a Thursday game, both games in Green Bay, so Green Bay does not have to travel. Green Bay can just chill. They're not going to get as much rest as they would like after a Week 1 game, but they don't got to do any moving. DC has to travel. They played their home game, I believe. Yeah, the Washington game was a home game. I guess I got to check, but oh well, whatever. And now they got to travel. They get maybe 1 day of practice on the Monday or Tuesday, and then today they're traveling. I'm assuming they're traveling today. Travel to Green Bay, get ready for this game. DC, a lot of my watching experience is dedicated to either red zones or box scores. So red zone did not tune in to the DC New York game that much at all. So I can only say so much. I would have liked DC to do more in Week 1, but the Giants really gave them no reason to do more. So it's hard to be a judge on that. Green Bay, hey, they're figuring things out. Now, could they have been better? Sure. A little more. I'm not mad at what was a 24-6 final score. But it's like, Detroit is very banged up on the defense. Hell, apparently, Aiden Hutchinson didn't really do much of anything in that game. Like, you kind of quiet him up for the most of the game. So it's like, you would have thought you would have more, but I don't know. The way I'm seeing it, Green Bay, Washington, like I'll tell you this, for 48.5, I don't know if I could see it getting there. Could it get close? Possibly. Could it even touch 50? Like a 27-24 game, could it do that? I don't see why not. But I don't know if I'm that confident in that. 48.5 is pretty high for me. I think for one thing for certain, I am going to take the under on that. I think this game, I think both defenses do enough. It's a Thursday, so it's minimal rest after scrappy Week 1 games. I don't think either are in full rhythms yet. I think they're close, because these are two of the upper echelon teams of the NFC. But I think the Thursday will kind of hem them in a little bit. So again, I like the under. But push comes to shove, Green Bay is at home. They shut down a Detroit offense who we thought, even without Ben Johnson, would have done more. Didn't do a whole lot. Actually, I think they got to 13. I don't even remember. But point is, Detroit still has a great offense, and Green Bay was able to keep them hemmed in. I don't see why they can't do the same with Washington. I like Green Bay. I like them to win. 3.5 is tricky. At 3, you just take it and move on. 3.5, like I said, that 23-20, 24-21, like, is that possible for this game? 26-23, or, yeah, which would go over, but my point is still standing. Is that possible for this game? That is very possible. But I think at that, at 3.5, I think this is one where you just have to bite your tongue. It's not a comfortable lay, but I think if you push it hard enough, it's a lay you can get. I will lay 3.5 with Green Bay. So give me the Packers, cover 3.5, under the 48.5 points. Again, a 24-20. How about that? Is the final score I could see happening. Or even as something as simple as they're going to be a little rusty, maybe a little shaky. Give them like 23-17. Something like that. And I think that's fair. On to our next game. The Bears are in Detroit. Talk about more NFC North teams. Now, this is the first of many updates I had to do to this list. So like I said, what I'm doing with this list. I wait for the lines to come out initially, and I'll sometimes document like this one. Because, I stay awake because I work night shifts. So I got this line 4 a.m. on the Monday night, so technically Tuesday morning. But at 4 a.m., I did get these lines, which opened up for me with Detroit laying 4.5. The line when I checked it now has moved Detroit up to 6.5. Now, this is not a knee-jerk reaction to what happened in Chicago, because, again, that game just ended, and it opened at 4.5. So for it to be 6.5 now, about, say, 36 hours later, telltale signs of something. Now, Chicago, I want to believe more. I admittedly tapped out of that game at halftime, so I didn't even get to see the Minnesota comeback. But I want more, and I don't know how much more I'm going to get. And being this game in Detroit instead of in Chicago, I don't know how Ben Johnson will react. Maybe a little moment for him, but I think Detroit, after the poor week 1 start they had, they want to get back on the right foot. So I think they do. I think this is a Lions win, no matter what that spread sits at. Chicago, I'm not ready for you yet. I would have been a little more happier had you won, but I don't think I would have picked you regardless of that outcome, and the fact that you lost the way that you did leaves room to be desired. So give me Detroit. I think that's an easier one to take. That 6.5 scares me, though, because we saw Green Bay. Granted, it was in Green Bay, but we saw them not do much on offense, and Green Bay had control for the majority of that game. That is what we saw. And Chicago, they have a punch. They have offense. They have weapons. It's just, can they be consistent when they need to be consistent? And as of 1 week, we don't have that yet. We just don't. So I look at the board one more time. It's not the most comfortable, like I said with the last one, it's not the most comfortable one, but pinch my nose, I am going to lay 6.5 to Detroit. I think a touchdown win is fair enough. And then, totals at 47.5. Seems like a lot of points. I don't know how confident I want to be in Detroit producing points. I mean, if the Vikings can put 27, though, without Jordan Addison, it's JJ, Justin, and a dream. So I don't know how much you want to give them that much confidence, that much benefit of the doubt. But it seems like a lot. Now, can Detroit drop 30? Sure. Supposedly they want to get that rookie more involved. Can they drop more points? Maybe. I just don't think I could do that with Chicago. Even after dropping 24 in Minnesota. I don't think I could do it with Chicago. I don't think I can. So give me the under on 47.5. I think Detroit just get back on the right track and they just kind of bulldoze Chicago 30-13. Something like that. It sends a message that says, hey, our offense is still here. Our defense can do enough against a subpar team. And it keeps it under. It kicks ass, takes names, keeps it under. We'll call that good. Next one, and this game could also be interesting for the sake of what's going on with the injury report. The Niners are in New Orleans. This line opened up at 4.5 when I first got it. Checking it now before the stream, I updated these about a half hour before I started the stream. The line has dropped to 3, and the total is still holding steady at 40.5. And that line drop, I'm only can presume, is because of the injuries. Kittle will be out this game. Kittle is, I think they're saying, is out for at least a month. I don't remember the injury, but yeah, about a month, maybe a little more. So Kittle's gone. Brock Purdy is dealing with something. And from the last thing I saw, there's still a hope, but it's looking less likely. So there is a good chance that they roll Mac Jones out into this game. So Mac Jones and the Niners team against Spencer Rattler, and who God knows what's going on with that team. Chris Olave, I think, was dealing with concussion shit, because, Chris Olave is always dealing with concussion shit. I don't know what the update on him is. I don't even know if he went back in the game. I don't remember anything from that Saints Cardinals game, other than being disappointed in Arizona, in all honesty. But I think either way you look at it, you're going to go under 40.5, and you're not going to think twice. This game, especially if Mac Jones does play without George Kittle, this could be a 10-6 game, 13-7 game, quite easily. Quite easily. So it's just one of those, I'm taking the under, and if somehow this game does go over 40, well, my reaction will depend on how it got over 40. But, yeah. If the Cardinals can only score 20 in the Superdome, what makes you think Mac Jones, if Mac Jones is still starting, is going to do that? And San Fran's defense is better than Arizona's. Yes, it is. I mean, if it does come down to Mac Jones, he still has Christian McCaffrey. He still has Ricky Pearsall. And there's pieces. There's pieces. They should be fine. I'm going to take the Niners to win. This is more of I just don't care about New Orleans to the point where I think San Fran, even with Mac Jones and no George Kittle, should be fine. Again, it's probably going to be a sloppy game. It's not going to look pretty, but I feel like the San Fran team can do enough with Mac Jones to get this win. And again, at 3, at 4.5, you can argue taking New Orleans to cover, but 3, it's a small price. You just take it, you move on. But it won't surprise me if this game somehow ends 14-13. It wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, San Fran to win, cover the 3, under 40.5. Again, 14-13, 14-10, 13-7, like shit like that. It's gonna be like that. Absolutely. Next game on my list, I have the Rams in Tennessee taking on the Titans. Rams have a nice 5.5 point favorite on them, and the total, open at 42.5, has dropped 1 point to 41.5. Now, from the Rams-Texans game, which I called, by the way, great defenses, aging quarterback that can't move much, quarterback with no O-line. It's going to be a shit show of a low-scoring game, and I was right. And here, if we can learn anything from Tennessee playing Denver, same thing. Cam is left with a lackadaisical O-line and receivers who don't really know what they're doing. Maybe they'll figure it out in the near future, but time will tell. Time will tell. I think this is another easy under, personally, for me. Even if it dropped from 42 to 41.5, I'll take that under. Again, I'm not saying this game can't get to 40, but like I would be I wouldn't be as surprised if, say, the Rams got to 20 in this game. Whereas with the Houston game, it's like, I don't know how either are going to get to 20. This one, I wouldn't be surprised. But, yeah, end of the day, I'm taking the Rams. I like them. I've said this before. I think they are a dark horse team to go on a run. Stafford just has to stay healthy, which that back is clearly bothering him. But as long as he stays healthy, I think the Rams have plenty of opportunity to make a run. In an NFC that's always open, it seems. Yeah, Philly's made it to the last 3 years, but the NFC always finds a way to be open. Always does. Unlike the AFC, where we want to think it's open, but it's just one team that dominates for the most part. But yeah, and then 5.5, again, it's kind of scary, but if Bo Nix can throw 2 picks and still win by 8, I think Stafford, who won't throw 2 picks, should win by at least a touchdown. I think that's fair. Rams to win. Rams cover. Give me the under. On to the next one. The headline game for this video, at least. The Browns head to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. The Ravens are a whopping 11.5 point favorite. And the total right now is sitting at 45.5. This line has not moved. Joe should still be the starter from everything I know. Otherwise, this video title is going to look really bad. But Joe's still the starter. Ravens can put up 40 points, but their defense will still choke in the final 5 minutes. Whatever, it's Josh Allen. And Josh Allen seems to have a lot of bullshit luck on his side. He always does. Can't hate. When you do it, you do it. Can't hate. But yeah, I'm not going to think too hard on this. Baltimore's going to win this game. How they win it will determine how any of us should feel about them, but Baltimore should win this game, without a doubt. And if they lose this game, there's going to be some... It's not like last year where you lose to Kansas City because Kansas City was just better, and then the Raiders where it's, you lose in the last seconds or whatever. You can't lose a game like that, because losing a game to Buffalo like that just takes the wind out of your sails. And then if you drop this Cleveland game for whatever reason, it's going to look a lot worse. It will look a lot worse. But yeah, and again, high spreads are dangerous. You usually don't want to lay them. My double-digit spread rule doesn't kick in until someone breaks it. But until then, up to your own discretion, I will play that 11.5. I think Baltimore, even with the collapse, they prove that their offense is really good. They don't need to get turnovers to generate points. Because, Ravens defense, always great, but never gets turnovers in times when they need it most. So they can still generate points. I have no problem with them scoring, especially against Cleveland. Cleveland, on one hand, they should have won their game had their kicker made kicks. On the other hand, Fizzy's defense isn't what Baltimore should be. Should be is the key word. So 45.5 is where we get tricky. If Baltimore can put 40 on Buffalo without having to need it, and by that I mean, like, it wasn't a shootout beforehand. They just got to 40 because that's how the offense was clicking. There's no reason they can't get to 40 with Cleveland. And I think Cleveland, I think they have pieces, especially with the inconsistency of the Ravens defense, to get enough. I'm not saying it's comfortable. I'm not saying it's likely. But I am going to take the over 45.5 in a game of Baltimore. And this, I mean it in the sense of like 37-10. Do I think Baltimore could drop another 40? I think they can. I think they probably should. But I don't think they need 40 to beat Cleveland. And again, depends on how the kicker kicks, because the kicker was mad inconsistent. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, Ravens to win. They'll cover 11.5, because if they don't, fucking the city's gonna burn. And I'll take over 45.5. Like I said, 37-10, 40-14, something like that. Cleveland's gonna get points. Or here, I'll say 40-12, so that way the kicker can't. It's 2 touchdowns, but the kicker misses both PATs. 40-14. Something like that. It's an over, but it's an over that Baltimore's doing the heavy lifting on. Next game on the list, we got the Jags going into Cincy to take on the Bengals. This total is all the way up at 49.5, which, in a normal circumstance with Cincy, would make sense. But in the same breath, it's like, I'm a big believer in Week 1 Bengals as much as the next person. But even if you don't believe in that, did you not see how they looked Week 1? Like, don't get me wrong, Myles Garrett's that dude, but there's not really anyone else on that defense that makes you think like that. And the Jags, I don't know, I'm not going to say if they're a better or worse defense than Cleveland, but I feel like they can even out or match up just as equally, depending on if Cincy wants to wake up or not. Who knows? I have all the yawns because this game will be a snooze. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. This game, it depends on what the Week 2 Bengals are. I don't have much of a meme for Week 2 because I don't remember any of them off the top of my head. But Week 1 Bengals always disappoint. Can Week 2 bounce back? Sure. Can they play better than they did? Sure. It wouldn't surprise me if they played better. Sure. But it's one of those, how much do I expect from Jacksonville? Why do I have the yawns all of a sudden? Goddamn. Like, good win Week 1, Jacksonville. Good job. I don't know how much I'm supposed to get out of it with how Carolina looked. I don't know how much you want from me. So it's hard to gauge. I don't know if, since he's going to come out of Week 1 just kind of doing nothing in the second half to just somehow putting up 40 points on Jacksonville. I don't see it. I am going to take Cincy to win. I think they get it figured out, and I'm not too high on Jacksonville either way. I think the under should be fine anyway. Again, I don't expect Cincy to go from how they looked in Cleveland to dropping 40 on Jacksonville, or 30 for that matter. Do I think they can get to like 27, 28? I think so. 31 if things are really clicking, but I don't think Jacksonville's going to explode on this offensive power. And I don't know how much Jacksonville's going to do just because I don't trust Jacksonville, period. So I think 49.5 is just too much. But if you want to poke at my side a little bit, that 3.5 does scare me. Mostly because I don't know what version of Cincy I can get. If I get late season Cincy, then 3.5 is an easy cover. But September Cincy, I don't know what to do with. So that's what makes it tricky. But push comes to shove, again, I'm not a believer in Jacksonville. I think they could win 8 games this year if they really want to. But I'm not a believer. So I'm going to take that 3.5. I'm going to assume Cincy thing is just a Week 1 thing. Because again, I don't remember their Week 2 records off the top of my head. But Week 1, you're at home. It's Jacksonville. I think you guys can take care of it. Damn, all the yawns. I am just yawning 24/7. Maybe this is what I get for yapping too much. Oh well. On to the next game. We have the Patriots in Miami taking on the Dolphins. The Dolphins currently are 1.5 point favorites with the total at 43.5. Now, again, I don't know what much more I can say that I haven't already said about Miami in this stream. But what the fuck, Miami? Like, I know some people in the were thinking that you could be like bad. I didn't think you'd be a playoff team. but I think you'd have something. I think you'd do something. And I'm not even mad that you lost to the Colts. It's not that. 33 to 8. I think it was 30 to nothing at one point. 2 turnovers, like the first 4 like dropbacks. I think they said for Tua. What the fuck? Fucking Latu got an interception. A fucking pass rusher with an interception. That's enough for me to just not pick you. I'm just not gonna pick you. I like New England. I'm not surprised they lost to the Raiders. I think the Raiders will be a middling team. I think they'll figure it out. I think, yeah, Raiders and New England, I'm not going to say either of them can be a wild card team, but I think 8-win seasons are in the future for both of them. Now, could Miami bounce back and beat New England? I'm not saying they can't. It might have just been a really bad day. Who knows? But I have faith that New England is improving. Again, I'm not saying too much for 1 week against the Raiders. But I think there's improvement to be made. I think there's a chance for something to happen. And with Miami looking as awful, again, had they just lost, I probably would have taken Miami here. But they looked bad. So bad, I don't want to touch them. I do not want to touch them. So by all means, give me New England and the 1.5 point dogs they are in this game. See, they're even saying that with the line. Miami's a home team. Home team should be at least a 3. If Miami's under 3, they're even saying, damn, we don't really trust you. We're giving you benefit of the doubt because you're at home, but we don't trust you. That's what that line says. So yeah, give me New England. I'm rolling with that. And same thing there. If you can't score on Indy's defense, which I don't think Indy had any much of a defense to really talk about, New England with defensive-minded Mike Vrabel and all these defensive pieces, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? And yeah, New England's offense hasn't really been much. And I mean, we're hoping Drake May can be better than Mac Jones. But Drake May doesn't have Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce. Drake May doesn't have these pieces. So either way, same story with the Rams Texans. Who's scoring 20 in this game? Who? Neither of them. Give me the under. 17-14. I'll be nice and say like 20-10. Something like that. Something like that. But I'm giving this to New England. I don't want to touch Miami. So feel free to just ignore this game altogether if you don't have that much faith in New England. I have a little more faith, so I'm willing to give New England a chance here. Again, I'm not surprised. I took Raiders week 1. I had a feeling that would happen. But I think New England, by the end of the year, will be the better team. But it's early season. I trust Geno and veterans more. Yeah, give me New England. I'm not touching Miami. New England, dog cover, under 43.5. Next one, we have the Giants in Dallas take on the Cowboys. Giants look like hot ass. They'll probably continue to look like hot ass with Russell Wilson in the helm. Not thinking twice. Give me Dallas. I think, because even with, you can talk about all the superlatives and blah, blah, blah with the Dallas and Philly game. I do think Dallas will be fine. I think they'll be completely fine. I think they are still an 8, 9, maybe even 10 win. If they can figure it out, I think they can get to 10. I do trust Dallas. I don't know much about their defense, but I trust their off. I trust Dak. I trust CD. I'm not going to hold the drops too much against him because he had 100 yards in like the first 3 quarters. It's week 1. I'm not going to hold too much on him. But yeah. I think the Cowboys will be fine. I think the offense will be fine. Kenny Clark looked good in that defense from what I saw. So I don't see why not. I think they'll be fine. And against the Giants team, they can kind of get themselves back into a rhythm for whatever you want to say about the Philly game. 44.5, I want to say Dallas can do enough. But even looking at Washington, who I think Washington's a better offense than Dallas, 21 was enough. I think Dallas might have the better defense than Washington. That's a TBD, though. But I'm going to stick under on this. 44.5 seems like a lot. I don't know what I'm going to get from the Giants, and I don't think Dallas needs to drop 30 plus to prove a point. I think they can get to 30, maybe get to 33. That'd be fine. 33 to 10 shouldn't be that impossible for in a game like this. And which, of course, I'm going to lay the 5.5. If Washington can win by 14, including holding the Giants out, because I didn't even see that. Apparently, the Giants had a red zone opportunity at the end of the game that they couldn't convert 4 downs on. I think Dallas' defense could do pretty much the same thing with Russ. So, Dallas win. Dallas covering 5.5 under 44.5. Next game, we have the Bills and the Jets. The Jets have an offense, apparently. Didn't see that coming. Or does Pittsburgh have no defense? TBD. Again, week 1. Don't overreact to anything, but also overreact to everything. Because it all just means that much more. Now, this one's an interesting one to me. Because, again, Tuesday morning or Monday night, how you want to look at it, 4 a.m. The line opened at Bills -7, the full touchdown, and at 45.5, which is low considering both teams just dropped 30 plus. But 45.5. But the line has now moved to Buffalo -6.5, as opposed to 7. Not a big move, but it is a move nonetheless. And the total went up. It went from 45.5 to 46.5. Maybe they're accounting for something. I don't know. All I know is Buffalo's defense gave up over 30 points in 3 quarters and 40 points throughout the game. Not just now, that could be a result of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Probably. But if you look at Justin Fields, he's your, what do you want to call it? The mellow yellow to Lamar's Mountain Dew, the Dr. Pibb to his Dr. Pepper. Not long ago, Justin Fields ran for 1,000 yards as a quarterback himself. Justin Fields has talent. Breece Hall exists. Like, Garrett Wilson's a good receiver. Like, they have pieces. Can they do it again? I don't know. I think the aura of it being a division game might put a scare on them. But, I mean, if you can drop 30 on Pittsburgh, tell me you can't at least put up 20 on Buffalo. Now, again, I think Buffalo's a better team, so they'll probably steamroll them. See, Buffalo should probably get 30 on this. But who knows here. But I'm just saying. I think Buffalo does take care of business. I think, like, Buffalo's schedule as a whole looks relatively easy. So this should just be another one where it's like, damn, we escaped with our asses on that one. There could be a bit of a little letdown after having to go balls to walls like they did on Sunday night. But I think it's enough. Take care of the win. You cover 6.5. But I think, could both teams have letdowns? Yeah, probably. But for 46.5, I don't hate it from what I saw from week 1. So I'll grab the over on it. I don't hate it. I mean, I don't know if I would bet this if I were doing a parlay. I mean, I'm always betting, but I don't know if I'd take this, but that's kind of where I'm feeling. I'm feeling it. I feel like over, like again, 30 to 20. I feel like that should be very doable for these teams based on what we saw in week 1. I think that's very doable. So give me the Bills. Have them cover 6.5. Or 7, wherever the line ends up ending at the end of the week. But I'm taking 6.5, that's what I got. And give me over 46.5. Again, 30 to 20. Anything like that. I think that's fair. Next game we have the Seahawks in Pittsburgh taking on the Steelers. A rematch of Super Bowl 40. Which no one cares about because that was 20 years ago. Or almost 20. But I'm looking at this game like, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? Seattle, showed me pretty much exactly what I expected. An offense to not really do much. Because Sam Darnold, while he might still be better than than other guys, he's not that guy. And again, it's probably a Minnesota thing. I can't buy into Sam Darnold. I couldn't do it last year. I gave him benefit of the doubt because it was a good team, but I can't buy into Sam Darnold. If Aaron Rodgers looks like that, I can buy into Aaron Rodgers, but I don't know if I can buy into Seattle like that. So I like my chances. I'm taking Pittsburgh. I think that's a fair one. That's a gimme. These lines, though, are interesting. It opened at Pittsburgh 2.5, and the line at 40.5 on the points. It's now gone up. Pittsburgh's now 3 instead of 2.5, but the line has gone down to 39.5, meaning they think it's a low-scoring game. And even outside the turnover, Pittsburgh still scored 20-plus points. Now, Pittsburgh's defense, was that a result of Justin Fields doing Justin Fields thing, or is that defense that bad? Who knows for sure? All I know is Jalen Ramsey did make the crucial stop on Garrett Wilson, so they could have a defense. It could be real. Justin Fields was just feeling himself. But 39.5 feels very interesting to me. Is this just you don't believe in Seattle's offense but their defense to make sure Aaron Rodgers doesn't go for 4 touchdowns again? It's possible. And of course, Pittsburgh being a -3 is interesting because they only win by 2. But I mean, if you twist my arm a certain way, I will tell you right now I feel better about the Jets than I do the Seahawks. So take that as you will. No way Pittsburgh only wins by 2 or 3 points again, right? They have a little more control. I'll bite my nose again and take -3 for Pittsburgh. I don't think it's... God, I really can't do long-form content. I don't think it's impossible for them. I just don't. 39.5, it makes me feel like something's gonna happen. But I'm just going to be like, I think Pittsburgh offense can get me 25, 27. What's Seattle going to do? I'm going to take the over. I don't know how close it'll get, but I think I will. 27-13, 24-20. I don't think it's impossible. 23-17. Like, I think we can get here. I think we can. So I'm going with it. Next one on the dock, 3 games in the afternoon. Funny how scheduling works, where it's 4, but and like what was it, like 6 or 7 because you had the Friday game and the blah 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 blah. But now with that game back on Monday for 2 Mondays, we're gonna throw all these games at one, and then 2 Fox games, and then CBS just gets 1 game. All eyes on this Super Bowl rematch. Sure, you guys could have done more. You could have done better. I don't know, but yeah, Carolina is in Arizona. Take on the Cards. 2 teams I kind of don't really give a shit about. Kind of don't give a shit about them going into the season, and even now it's like after their week 1 performances, still kind of don't give a shit. So I will tell you this, I do think back to last year when these two met in Carolina, and it was a fucking 33-36 or some bullshit shootout like that. But based off week 1, I see 43.5, and I'm like, give me this fucking under all day, every day. I will take that under, and I will feel happy with it. I will feel happy. Now, Arizona being a 6.5 point favorite. They were that against the Saints. They did cover it. Going into the season, I would tell you Carolina's a better team than New Orleans. After week 1, I don't know how confident I would be in that, but I would still say I am. I believe that. So either way you take it, I do think Arizona is the better team. Again, I don't really have much to say about this game. But push come to shove, and maybe this is mostly me still having faith Bryce will figure it out, even though week 1 looked awful. I don't know if I can lay the 6.5 in this case. I could do it with the Saints. You almost blew that, by the way. So thanks for that, Arizona. But I don't know if I can do it on back-to-back weeks. You are in Arizona now, so you have the home field. You have benefit of the doubt. But in this instance, I don't know I can do it. They probably will win it by double scores, because who knows what's going on with Bryce. But right now, I cannot do it. I am taking plus 6.5 with Carolina. So give me the Cardinals to win. Carolina covers 6.5. And give me under 43.5. 23-20. 17-14. 20-17. Shit like that. Arizona did not show me enough against New Orleans to make me think, yeah, let's lay them a full touchdown again against somebody, even if it is Carolina. I'm not doing it. Other 4 o'clock game, or 1 o'clock if you're on the West Coast, shout out Oregon. Denver and Indianapolis. I've been watching too much women's basketball. Indianapolis, where Denver, as the road team, is 2.5 point favorites, and the line's at 42.5. Bo, don't throw these picks. You guys are a dark horse. This team can make a run. If Kansas City is going to look like that, and if their receivers are going to get hurt, and Travis is going to be washed, maybe. Don't fuck this up, Denver. You could very well take this division. You could very well do something here. Bo Nix, figure it out. Don't mess this up. You don't got to win a Super Bowl, but damn, be competitive. You have the defense. Dobbins and Harvey might be your answer for running game. You have receivers. Denver, you can do this. Bo Nix, do not fuck this up. I'm not going to call Daniel Jones a fluke either. I think, quarterbacks in different situations end up looking better. And again, yeah. But again, that game told me more about Miami than it did about the Colts. So I'm still not going to buy into the Colts hype. Give me the Broncos in this one. If Bo Nix doesn't throw 30 picks, they should be fine. And even if he does, Denver's defense is miles better than the Colts. So I'm not going to stress it. Give me Denver, 2.5 small price to pay. I will take it. With a total of 42.5, this could go either way legitimately. But if push comes to shove, I am trusting Denver's defense. Indy's defense might be something with how Tua looked. But I'm choosing to trust Denver's defense here for the most part. So I am taking the under 42.5 on this. I'm taking it. 2.5, I think it's easy. 20-17 game, not impossible. I'm doing a lot of generic ass scores. 17-14. Again, if Bo doesn't turn it over so much, then Denver's defense should be fine. Hell, they held Cam Ward out of the end zone, but that could just be the team Cam Ward's working with. But yeah, Denver to win, Denver to cover, under 42.5. I think that's fair. 4 more games to go. 1 more in the afternoon. The hyped up rematch everyone wants to see. Philadelphia is going to Kansas City. Eagles and Chiefs, a rematch of last year's Super Bowl and Super Bowl from 2 years ago, and a game that was played also 3 years ago. 3 years ago. I don't know. Time's an illusion. They played in 2020. They played in the 57. They played in the regular season after that, and they played in the next year's, and then they played in the 2 Super Bowls later. Now they play again. Schedule is weird. I hate the 17th game. Fuck you, Roger Goodell. And your 18th game too coming up. Fuck you, Roger. The game started out as Kansas City 1.5 point favorites. The line has shifted now to Philadelphia being the 1.5 point favorites. I think it's a 50-50 on whether Xavier Worthy plays because of that shoulder. And if he doesn't, then you're looking at Hollywood Brown and what was I saying? Tyquan Thornton being the other guy. Not that Mahomes can't do it, But against Philly, where he struggled recently against the Eagles, I don't see why it's not another struggle bus. I think Philadelphia is still a phenomenal team. And again, remember, they beat Dallas. And A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith didn't really do shit that whole game. Neither of them really did anything. So, like, I gotta imagine they're doing more here. Hell, Kansas City made Quentin Johnston look good. And we're still not sure if that guy is a quality receiver. They made him look good. You know me, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith can't do more there. That might be more their game here. So, give me Philly. I'll take the cover of the 1.5. 46.5 could go either way. You're not literally looking to run up the score in a regular season game. But with Kansas City, anything is possible. I don't know how much better the Chargers defense is compared to Philadelphia. But Jalen Carter, as long as they don't spit in anyone's face, should still play this game. So realistically, Philly's defense should keep them honed in. But how much are they going to score, and how much is Kansas City going to get in garbage time? Because I do think Philly will probably handle this game fairly well. So 46.5 is scary. But I think by some will of either bullshit luck or garbage time scores, it will go over. I think Philly holds on for the most part, like 30-10, 33-14, which I guess would already be over. But again, Kansas City gets another touchdown. It'll be some sort of 30-20, 27-24, some shit like that. It'll be something like that by the final score. It'll look close, but the game wasn't actually close. That's my pick. Philly will win. Philly covers a 1.5. 46.5. Over. Sunday night game, the Falcons and the Vikings, which is an interesting one to put on Sunday Night Football. But then you remember it's Michael Penix and J.J. McCarthy. And if you remember seeing in the thumbnail, this was the 2024 National Championship between Michigan and Washington. And I'm sure a lot of college fans would love to talk about the Michigan title, but c'est la vie. That is not my business. Minnesota, interesting. Open up as 4.5 point favorites. It's dropped to 3.5. And while I'm not denying that Minnesota is a good team, I don't know, even if with the win against Chicago, I don't know if they've really done enough to warrant being this big of a favorite. And Atlanta, it's not Kirk Cousins. So, Michael Penix, while we're still not 100% sure what he's like, I don't think he's bad by any chance. I think he could be a quality starter. So it's like, this line kind of reeks. 4.5, 3.5. It kind of reeks. So, I mean, do we really think Minnesota? I mean, roster-wise, Minnesota's probably the better team. I'm sure we all agree Penix is probably better than JJ at this point. Again, that's mostly because we don't know anything about JJ McCarthy. But if you want to push to shove me, I kind of like the Falcons here. I just do. Like, even if you don't like the Falcons, I feel like this spread is weirdly high. Now, can anyone on Atlanta's defense stop Justin Jefferson? Probably not. Can anyone stop the run game of Aaron Jones? Probably not. Got a lot of rookies that we're hoping do good stuff. But who knows? But that's just the vibe I'm getting here. I really like Atlanta in this spot. I'm going to take Atlanta. 44.5, it's two young guns. You know, throwing up some passes. Could be some good ones, could be some turnovers. Anything's possible. We were a few missed kicks from going over, like, the line at 44.5. A few missed kicks from the Atlanta-Tampa game doing that. I don't see why this can't be the same. Especially week 2. In and out. Again, college rematch. Granted, I don't, if my memory serves me correctly, J.J. McCarthy didn't really do much in that national championship game. He just had a really good roster around him. But, again, I think push comes to shove, these guys are going to want to show out. It's Sunday Night Football. They're good rosters. I don't think either of them have high expectations, but I think either team have a good shot to be a playoff team. So I think both offenses will want to show out. I will take over 44.5 in this game. I like it. I like it. So give me Atlanta to pull off the upset. Cover 3.5, obviously. Or, cover 3.5, blah, blah, blah. Give me over. 27-24, 27-20, anything like that. Doesn't matter, because Atlanta's not the favorite here, so however they win, it's up to them. It could be 26-25 for all I care. Let's get a 25. We haven't had 25 in a while. Damn you, Buffalo. Why couldn't you just lose 40-25 like a real man? Whatever. 2 Monday night games, one of them I'm pretty sure at 10 o'clock Eastern time, because fuck the East Coast. That's why. We got Tampa and Houston. A game that has a lot of intrigue. But my biggest question goes back to, once again, Vita Vea's on that D-line. Who on Houston's O-line is going to stop Vita Vea? I don't really think many people can. I do like Houston, and they could absolutely win this game. But I like Tampa more. I think Tampa's a better team. Chase McLaughlin, don't miss extra points again. But I think Tampa's a better team. I like them. I'll take them. Give me the plus 2.5. Again, I do really think this game could go either way. I would not be shocked if either team won. But I like Tampa more here. So I'm going to take Tampa. And 42.5. It seems low for the kind of offenses these guys could have. I'll come back to it. I'm very 50-50 on it, but I'll come back to it. Other game is Chargers in Las Vegas take on the Raiders. Again, I trust the Raiders. They're veterans. They know what they need to do. I'm not going to say it's going to be perfect, but they know what they need to do. Chargers, again, I think the Chargers have the capability of being a good team. But there is still that fear that the Chargers chargering. It still exists. But I think they are a better team than the Raiders. So I am going to take the Chargers to win this game. And I will take them to cover 3. It's easy enough. 46.5 is a little high. Especially because I don't know what I'm going to get from the Raiders. I think I'm going to go under on this one. Just because, again, Chargers have a good defense. Raiders offense, probably not as intriguing as Kansas City's. Give or take. So when you see this game, 23-20, 24-20, something like that. Maybe even the Chargers defense does more because the Raiders aren't as impressive as Kansas City. And Geno Smith is not Patrick Mahomes. So this could be 23-13. It could be. It's not that the Raiders are bad. I'm just not expecting much against the Chargers. Going back to this other game, Tampa-Houston, 42. I really don't know. Because I trust Houston's defense to do a lot. I trust Tampa's defense to be serviceable and to make do against Houston's subpar O-line. But I think the way both Baker Mayfield and C.J. Stroud play, I don't think C.J. Stroud's going to go a second game not scoring a touchdown. Oh, I hate it. I'm taking the over. I'm going to take the over. It's not my favorite bet. Feel free to not follow along with me, but I'm taking the over. I think Baker and C.J. can do enough that a 23-20 game is not impossible. I dropped my pen. But you know what? I'm done writing. So that is okay. That is all 16 games written, scribbled on, all my notes and blah, blah, blah. Packers winning, Packers cover, under 48.5. Lions win, Lions cover, under 47.5. Niners win, Niners cover, under 40. Rams win, Rams cover. Hold on, my camera's over here. Under 41.5. Ravens win, Ravens cover. We're going over. I think Ravens need to exact some revenge. I think that defense always lets down. And hey, it's Flacco. We're going to have good vibes with Flacco doing things here. Bengals win, Bengals cover, under 49.5. Pats pull off the upset and cover, under 43.5. Dallas wins, Dallas covers, under. Buffalo win, Buffalo covers. We're going over, 46.5. Steelers win, Steelers cover. We're going above. I don't know why I went down. This game reeks of defense, but I think Pittsburgh's offense gives me enough reason that I can go over 39.5. I don't know how much to get out of Seattle, but if I can get a 30-10 game, or like 27-14, I'll walk away happy. Cardinals to win, Carolina to cover, because I'm not betting Arizona a touchdown favor back-to-back weeks. They haven't earned that from me yet. And under 43.5. I think it's a shit show of a game, and I feel sorry for anyone who has to watch that and not Denver Indy, because I think Denver Indy will be a little more interesting. Denver to win, Denver to cover, under 42.5, which means it's not going to matter anyway. All of you are going to turn into CBS at 4:25 and watch Philadelphia and Kansas City. Philadelphia wins, they cover 1.5. We're going to go over 46.5. Atlanta pulls off the upset, covers their 3.5. We'll go over 44.5. Tampa pulls off the upset, covers their 2.5, and we're going to go above 42.5. I don't feel comfortable betting it, but that is my pick. And we're going to go Chargers win, Chargers cover, and we're going to go under 46.5. Those are all my 16 games, all written on this little notebook that I will be keeping track of for the rest of the season. Checking in on the rest, we'll check in fantasy. Again, I have 5 leagues in total, but I'm only going to update y'all on 3. First one, League of Assholes year 10. Again, I waited late on quarterbacks, so I'm rolling with Bo Nix. And him not doing much. I would have lost either way, but I'm going to blame Bo Nix for it anyway. Lost to Chris in the Ante and Co. Dynasty League. I beat Carmine, starting out 1-0 in there. Carmine had, of course, Burrow, Jamar, and A.J. Brown, so he was off to a fun start. And the Professional Dynasty, I lose to Justin. What can you do? I have a lot of rookies, so it's all about figuring out who to start and who not to start. Clearly, Caleb Johnson is not the answer yet. Week 2, we're playing Keith in the other way. We're playing AJ in the Ante and Co. And we're playing Half Moon. Good old Lions fan. Couldn't schedule that one more week when Ravens and Lions play week 3. I guess not. But that's the fantasy update. That's that update. Don't worry, guys. Cassie is still here. Alive and proud and happy. With my earring still here. And I think that'll be all from me. I don't have much more to update on that note. Feeling good. Feeling good. I guess here, everyone should know I have this shirt, but hey, let me grab this camera anyway. I got this hanging up. Maybe I'll wear that, take it down off the wall, and wear that Sunday. Maybe. We still love Joe, so I am not a hater at all. I'll fix this camera later. With that, thank you all for joining me in, and I shall catch you all next week. Choose peace, accept love, and have the biggest of big trust. Buddy. I saw that chat number going up and down a couple times, but no one ever really said anything, so nothing to comment on in there. I don't know how to position this now because it's all out of whack. I'll figure it out later. And for anyone who was wondering, Amanda bought, or actually, I don't remember what happened to Amanda. I bought it, but we saw this shirt, and this is going to be the shirt I wear if we do ever go to a Browns game or a Cavs game or any game that doesn't involve the Ravens. I'll wear this to be a Cleveland supporter. Because Cleveland is pretty much my third town. Corvallis, Wichita, Cleveland. You're all my cities. I love you all. And yeah. And again, that number's been fluctuating 1, 2, 3. I think I saw it hit 4 at one point for people here, but no one ever commented, no one ever said anything, so not much you could do. But to those who did join during the live performing, or who will be watching this in the future, thank you all. Good luck on your games, good luck on your parlays, and good luck on everything else in between. This is my, I don't know if you're going to be able to read this, my evil football notebook. That is all. I am going to end the recording. Thank you all for topping in. I will check y'all out next week. Deuces.